And we are live. Welcome to the Street Shamans Podcast, episode 19. I am your host, Shamanic Poe, aka Potent the Rockstar. Today I'm with underground rapper, goth trapper, DeadKid. I don't know if that's what I would classify you. Is that what you classify yourself as?
I would say that's a pretty very close spot on guess right there. That's like I don't have like a specific name that I go for, but I think that describes my music pretty well. So thank you.
No problem, man. So we met when I was on tour and I went over there to Michigan.
Yeah. We met at Max Bar right
Max
by the
Bar?
Capitol.
Max, right. Yeah, I could barely remember all these names. But so what's going on with you, man? I see you got a new video that you just dropped, right?
Yep. I just dropped that. It's been a different experience because I started out. We filmed my first music video using just
Right.
an iPhone in like negative 20-degree weather on a pier that was covered in ice and snow. So like it was in my original mask setup with the lights that I used for my video that you saw that just put
Right.
out. I used the same one, but it's a lot harder to see. So it wasn't practical for like stage performances. It was more for like the aesthetic. But I had to actually have people guide me on this pier back and forth because if I slipped, I'm falling in freezing degree water immediately. So it was just a quick video that we did. So it was nice to actually have a director like planning scenes out, having a little bit more organization to the video. So that was cool, man.
So this was like, and I'm talking about outside. You talking about outside? Or is
Yes.
this a new one? All right.
The video before that I was talking about that was on the iPhone that was Help Me. That was just so we could put something out there to get people's eyes on us.
Right. Um, so usually you do the videos yourself, right?
Yes, I actually have another one that I'm working on right now with a very good friend of mine that got recommended to me by Dark Tones. I don't know if you're familiar with them, but they got me in touch with this editor that's worked with another artist who I won't mention right now, but he has done work for him and he's going to edit the video that I have right now that's on my laptop. I just need to send all the footage off to him. And that one
Okay.
was shot by me and my friends as well. I try and direct as much of my own stuff as possible, but I do like going to other people for video work. It's a lot more fun and less stressful.
Right, you ain't gotta worry about that shit. You just send it off, wait till that shit come back and be like, all right, I don't
Yeah.
like that one thing. You can probably
Yep.
fix that, or that's just great, good, cool. I'll run with that. Yeah, I get that. Cause now like this is the song that we were talking about before we pressed live or whatever. Heal This Pain that I did all myself. And that was the first song that I did everything myself, even down to the cover. So I had to like get out of my own way. I don't know if you're echoing or not, because I can hear a little echo.
Oh,
Make
hold
sure that
on.
the volume
I
is,
can I can turn my volume down a little bit, see if that works.
yeah.
Is this any better?
But yeah, I don't know. Wait, yeah, I don't hear nothing. All right, cool. We good.
Cool.
Um, yeah, it was my first time doing that, so I had to try to get out of my way a little bit and just say, fuck it, this is what it is. This is the product. Put it out. This is what I created. If take it or leave it. And obviously, this is just the first of me doing it by myself. Because I've worked with like high end producers. I used to spend everything that I could to get like a dope ass producer to really work
Yeah.
on my song. Not just send me a beat, but actually, yo, let's sit
To
down
engineer
and
it.
work, like sit down and work on the shit. Like a producer is right there while I'm writing the song. So I actually was kind of like privileged by that, but at the same time it was costly. It was,
Oh
I was
yeah,
just
for
wasting
sure.
hella money. And it wasn't like by the time the product was done, I was out of money to really promote it the proper way. But I
Yeah.
like the way you guys are doing shit. You know what I mean? I like how,
Yeah.
because it's not just you, right? How many people are under like unorthodox records? Excuse me.
So Unorthodox Records was something that we put together. It's not so much as a record company as it is a bunch of brothers who got together that got back in contact with each other and inspired each other to try and make this genre of music or whatever genre we choose to follow. It's about being yourself and making what makes you happy and in turn helping that reach other ears that feel the same way or would appreciate that music. So we've got me, we have Weapon, Profex, Zandy, who's the founder of Unorthodox. and we've got a couple of other producers that we work with. There's a huge tier of them. There's like Severed Vein. He's a very active producer for us. He's helped other artists. I think he gave Vocals, or is working on a beat for Vocals. I don't know if you've heard of him. He has beats that he gives other artists. If you want to hit him up, if anybody wants to hit him up, he does like work and stuff like that. I don't mean to promote him, but
no, man, promote away, man.
oh,
Promote
I
away.
appreciate it. I
Talk your
appreciate it.
shit.
Yeah, man. Everyone, they all been trying to put more and more out. Prof just had a baby, so we have our own little niece too now. It's everything has been going well. We try and support each other, and it's like a real family. Like, people don't understand that. It's like, it's not about like the music so much as it is for the bond for us. Like, we look out for each other no matter what, man. And like, that's the same thing. Like, when you came into town, we were like, yo, we all hit each other up. We were talking and everything before and after the show.
Right. I mean, that's what made me really like connect with y'all, make sure that I was like staying in touch with y'all, like even if it was just some little shit, yo, check out this, or let's talk about something. And if you send me something, I reciprocate the love. I'll be like, yo, let me get on that, or like, let me get on that, to give it a like, give it a little comment, throw some fire, like, try to
Man,
help
I
out,
try to do
because
the same thing too.
exactly, and that's why I did it, because I saw that you guys were of that ilk. I saw that you guys were those type of dudes, stand up dudes that were just trying to do things and be solid guys, and I fucks with that heavy. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I admire the most about you. So I'm like, all right, these guys are cool. I'm gonna rock with them. I'm gonna talk to them. We're gonna work something out. We're in different states, so we can't do but so much. We can jump on a song or two,
Yeah.
but you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean, man. We just try and do whatever we can to support the other, no matter how far away we are. It's just
Yeah,
all love.
yeah, I fucks with y'all. And then when, especially like when we were performing and shit, like people were showing love, they're showing me love. You got a lot of love that night too, with ice in my veins. I was thinking about that shit
Yeah,
earlier too.
that actually surprised me. So my first performance, it was, dude, it was a disaster from before we even got there. I mean, like,
It usually
we
is. It
we
usually
had
is.
8 people on the roster at the beginning, and we had sold a couple tickets, nothing too crazy. I mean, it's your first show. What do you expect? You got to
Right.
be humble about the whole thing. So we were like, all right, cool. We sold a bit. We'll hopefully get some stragglers that are either in the bar or walking by. Maybe we'll get them before the show, try and get some tickets sold. But we went out there, man. It was just me and Zandy. Everybody else didn't call, didn't say anything, didn't show up. They just didn't go. We almost made that bar's actual money for that day. We were just under $20 of what they normally make. And they didn't have anybody in the bar when we first got there. So that was amazing for our first show. And our second show, dude, people knew the words, and they weren't even at that first show. To that one song, Ice Inside, they were saying the words to it. That tripped me out. I've never had that happen to me before, and that was awesome. I was really,
Hell yeah.
really appreciative of that. And we had me and Patrick was in the mosh pit for your guys' set. His head hit my elbow. He was still talking about that after the show. He's like, man, that hurts so bad.
Well, because he was moshing on our set, and y'all were just starting to go a little crazy, and I was like, oh shit, we had mad fun. We brought out the fucking 3D camera. Somebody had a 3D camera or some shit.
Yeah. I saw that. That was cool. He had it live on the 3D, so you could see everybody, the fans
Right.
and the stage. That was awesome. Yeah.
That shit was crazy. So you were telling me before we got on here in the DMs, you were telling me about Friday the 13th and something about it having like a lawsuit. What's that about?
So I've been looking into this and following this for a while. Like, I'm a huge Friday fan. Like, I don't remember if you remember the remake they did way back when. I think it was like maybe 2009. It had the guy who plays Sam Winchester as one of the main characters in it. And I loved that movie. I loved all the older movies before that, and that was one of the remakes, if you will, that I feel like they didn't really mess it up. It was a nice, like, fresh start without like giving away any past and still having a brand new beginning type thing, and still paying homage to the other ones. But
Right.
after that, they said they were going to do more, and then it's like every project after that got canceled, and I was like, why is this getting canceled? Well, it turns out apparently the original writer, I think his name is Miller, he went and sued the company, I think it was Warner Brothers or whoever the official company is that is doing the Friday movies and the franchises, and he halted everything. He said that he wanted the rights, or he was claiming the rights from the original movie. And when I say original movie, I mean like the one where Jason's on the screen and literally the last 10 seconds of the movie and grabs the people in the boat. Not the
Right.
hockey mask killer that we all know. So it's like, this is the guy who just came up with the name, like the
Right.
backstory. Not even
Right.
what made it like really insanely popular with the sequels. Because
Right.
that was a good standalone movie for the plot and everything with Pamela, but it was really the sequels that made it what it is. So now this guy, I think he won one of the lawsuits, but then they filed a follow-up lawsuit saying that it was that he doesn't actually have the rights. He hasn't worked on the movie since this movie, and it's been a huge back and forth thing, but everything is being delayed. They can't even put new skins on the Friday the 13th game. I don't know if you played that. I'm a huge fan of that. I love that game.
Oh yeah, I got that. I've been playing that. Like I've been playing that. I've been playing other games. Yeah, but go ahead.
It's
Continue. Sorry.
oh, it's so much fun, and it's just like it's such a shame that everything is being delayed right now. I think the only win they got is that toy company. I think it's called NECA. They have, oh, it's right here. It's just hanging over here. They have like, trying to bring it in frame real quick, like replicas and stuff like that. And they put out a new toy line for a new Jason toy or collectible or whatever. And that's like the only thing that they're able to get away with now because of this lawsuit. So I haven't heard anything. I've tried to look up new info, but I don't think the next court case has come up yet.
So they basically still, the one dude is suing because I guess he's not getting money. He's not getting paid for the sequels.
I think he, after the remake, it was I think 2016, he filed the lawsuit because they were making money without him, type thing, and he helped create the original movie. He was one of the main writers on it, so they were trying to say that he was just not like a partner, but like something lesser than a partner. And he said, I should have had partnership the whole time. So I think that's what the dispute's been about, is that he wasn't getting his cut. So now he was suing for his work essentially. But if he does win, that would mean that people who like worked on the original Halloween movies or any other cult classic can now go back. And if they didn't get paid, that would open a whole new slew of lawsuits. And the whole horror industry could potentially freeze like that. So that's what I'm worried about, man.
Yeah, I feel you, man. That's some bullshit. But I'm sure they're gonna work it out. It's just it's a matter of fucking money. You know, throw some money at them, they'll shut up. So that's your favorite franchise, your favorite horror franchise?
Oh yeah, I have like I actually have a tattoo over here of it. It's a little, I gotta get touched up and stuff, but it's supposed to be like the cabin, the woods, and then the background is his mask. I love the Friday movies, man. I've always loved them since I was a kid because it's like, it's one of those movies like Michael Myers, like the character himself, like he's indestructible, and like it's just like crazy to see all the things that they have on screen and how sneaky they are. It's like, how do you not see these people? How do you not hear them coming? It's like crazy to think about that because, like, I mean, we shoot a lot of videos in the woods and stuff. Like, it's not quiet. You can hear things far away. If they're moving even slowly or carefully, you could hear everything. So it's like, it's crazy.
Right.
So I love like movies like that. I also love movies where like you can't guess what's going to happen next. Like I feel like the last, like, so I don't know if you saw the last Halloween remake that they put out where they essentially erased some of the movies but still kept some of them. I thought that movie was phenomenal, and they put out a trailer for the new one. And the fact that they're continuing it from that makes me so excited because it's finally like another franchise that did well coming back, and they're staying here. So thankfully, we're going to see more Halloween in the future. Probably, I think it said next year was the release date. So I definitely have something to look forward to.
Right, October 15th. It said October 15th, 2021. New Halloween Kills, I think it's called.
Yeah.
You sent me that DM and I looked it up right away. I put it up on the TV. I'm like, oh yeah, check my girl. I'll show my girl real quick. Like, oh, look, check this out. I say, yeah, I heard about that. I'm like, yeah, but this is like the first time I saw a trailer or a teaser or something. They have like a little teaser and shit. But yeah, man, that shit's gonna be dope. Me, I like Halloween. I like Jason. You know, but Jason to me, he's a cock blocker. You know,
Oh, definitely.
every time somebody trying to get some buns, every time somebody's trying to, they're trying to practice procreation. This motherfucker out here stabbing people in the heart and shit, cutting people in half. I ain't got time for him. Like, let them get their shit off first, then kill him. You know what I mean?
I feel it. I feel it. He said, "You're smoking in my woods." Nope, not here.
Right,
Not today.
right. He's automatically, because that's how he died. I understand that they weren't paying attention to his ass, and he
Uh,
was out. They were out fucking and shit, partying, and he was out, drowning in the water. So I
oh,
understand, but like, come on, dog. Those people that you're killing, some of those people have no connection to what happened to you in your life.
yeah, yeah.
Just killing motherfuckers. But at the same time, I root when people die. You know what I mean? I'm like,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
kill that mother. Like, that's what horror movies about. Like, I don't sit there and get scared. Most of those gory movies, it's like, yes, you had to
Dude,
die.
because
Like, this
it's
is where I
like,
get my aggression out. What happened?
oh, I was gonna say it's just like crazy, like how detailed they get. It's just like they have all this like special effects and everything because it doesn't look like those old horror movies where it's like like clean cutaways and you see like the dummy doll real quick. It's like actual practical effects that they use, like fake skin and everything, or like blood bags that are hidden perfectly and have like little tubes all over. It's crazy.
Right. I don't know how they made him go to space, though. You saw that one when he went to space?
Oh yeah, you talking about the Friday movies? When he went to
Yeah.
space? Yeah, yeah. I think it was Jason X. I think it was the 10th
Jason
movie.
X.
Yeah.
Jason X. Where he froze that one chick, and
Oh
then he
my
froze her
god,
in
that was
and
brutal.
what was that? What is that called? Do you freeze them in like nitrous,
Nitrogen.
liquid,
It's
whatever?
liquid nitrogen. Yeah.
Excuse me. Yeah, he froze her, and then he just smashed her over the. I'm like, oh shit!
Yeah, dude, it catches you off guard with how creative they get. That's another thing, like the Saw movies. Yeah, I'm a
Saw's my
massive
shit,
fan
man.
of Saw
James
movies.
Wan. James Wan. I'm actually a fan of the director, the writer, like the first dude that created Saw. I'm his fan. Like I'm one of his groupies. So you know what I mean, quote unquote. Like everything James Wan does, I'm like, wait a minute. Conjuring, all right, I'm gonna check that out.
Yep.
Insidious, all right, I'm gonna check that out.
Yep.
He did Dead Silence. That's one of my favorite horror movies ever. When they cut the tongues out and shit. Mary Shaw. Beware of the
Oh.
Mary Shaw and all the dolls. That one right there. You seen that one?
No, I need
With
to
it,
check it out. I need to check
you
that
need to
one
check
out.
that out. It's hard, man, because I was like thinking about that shit all year. Because like me and my girl, we both like horror movies, so that's one thing that I know that we agree on. Let's put a horror movie on. We're gonna watch it. I could talk shit. We could talk over it because it's not like depth in like dialogue. It's just die, motherfucker, die, really. So
Yeah.
we'll put that on and just sit there and talk shit. But Dead Silence is one of those movies that you could barely find. It came out in theaters. But you could barely find it now. I forgot where it was. I think it was like Cinemax or Showtime or something. They have it. So I'm going free
Yeah.
trial all this month because there's nothing to do for fucking Halloween. Thanks government. There's nothing to do. So you sit there, like I sit there and I'm like, all right, well, 7 days on you. 7 days on you. And I'm just watching shit. You heard of Shutter?
uh, I think Shutter Island is the one I've seen. I haven't
No,
seen
no, no. I'm
Shutter.
talking about Shutter Island's a classic. But I'm talking about Shutter. Shutter is the actual app.
An
It's a
app.
fucking yeah, it's a horror app, and they come in
What?
with their own movies that are exclusive to Shutter. And I watched a few of those.
They
Right
got
after this,
good ones
right
on
after
there? I'm gonna
this,
have to check that out.
press that fucking free trial at least and rock out, man. They got fucking dope shows. They use and they pick like perfect people from culture too to get in the movies. It's not just and it's good acting. They have the old films too, but the new shit, their exclusive shit, it's been solid, man. The
Hell
one thing
yeah.
that I liked about this year though, not to just be keep going on a tangent, but the one thing that I liked about this year is that the horror movies been hidden. Like all the
Yes.
horror movies and on Netflix, there's been a few on Netflix that I liked. There's been a few on Hulu that I liked. Like I told you about Shutter. HBO has their own shit. It's all over the place. And like a lot of them are good. They're not
Dude,
really
yeah.
trash like they've been in the past. Like they're actually coming with something. Did you see? Do you got Hulu?
Yeah, I use Hulu and Netflix. I was gonna ask you about one of the movies I've seen on there too.
What movie you seen?
The Boy.
Oh, The Boy. Yeah, I seen The Boy. I seen that shit in theaters. The
Dude,
dude
I
in the
had
wall.
no idea about it. I checked it out and I was like, okay, at first glance, right? It's like, oh, this is like every fucking doll movie I've ever seen. All right, I'll watch it. I want to see what they do. And you're going through the movie and you're like, all right, yeah, like this is the stuff I'm expecting, but like not expecting at the same time. So it's like it's got my interest. And then by the end of the movie, I was like, what in the fuck just happened? And then the sequel, I went and I found the sequel and I watched that. That had me thrown even more than the first one. So I love movies like that. It's good that we have movies like that in the horror industry again, where it's originality. They take something that's unoriginal and then they make it original, and I love that.
Right, right. They throw a little twist.
Yeah,
Another movie that I seen that was hard. I think it's a foreign film. So like when you watch it, their mouth just be moving and there'd be
yeah,
different
yeah.
words
The
coming out.
subtitles, everything.
I'd be like, what the hell? But then I get used to it. The Platform on Netflix. If you haven't seen that yet, where they eat, it's like food comes down, right?
Okay.
Like everybody's on a certain platform. It's a jail, but it's like two people on each platform. The food comes down. The people that are on the top part of the platform, they get to eat first. And then all the food that they don't eat, they have to throw it on the fucking on the platform and it goes down to the next person. So you're basically eating off of the next person, but it's not like they're eating like, oh, let me make sure I take a plate. They're just smashing food, drinking beers and shit, and then just leaving, spitting on the fucking food and letting it go down to the next platform. It's a weird ass fucking movie. It gets crazy and shit. I'm not
That
gonna
sounds
spoil it for
crazy as
anybody.
hell.
But the idea itself of the fucking platform going down and you eating and shit. See, UG Rose said was she said the platform was wild. Yeah, that shit was wild, girl. I'm
I have to
telling you.
check that out. I have to.
Right,
Uh,
you gotta check that out.
Another movie I hadn't seen. There's a bunch of horror movies that I actually haven't seen because for me, when I was growing up, anything that somebody didn't specifically tell me to see, anytime I would venture out and try and find something, it wasn't good. It just wasn't good. So I had to wait for friends to recommend, be like, yo, I like this. It might be your thing. Go check this out. And like, I never got to see Hostel. I saw Hostel
Mm,
recently, part one and part two, and I was amazed. I was like, and
on
it's by the
Hulu?
makers of Saw. I believe so. I think so. I think
Yeah,
it's on Hulu. Both of them are right now, I think.
yeah, they're both on
And
Hulu.
it's just amazing. It's like, wow, okay. I wasn't expecting this. And then I didn't know the sequel was going to continue from the first one, too. I was like, oh, I love that. I love movies that just take it the way it left off. It was like, oh, okay. You think that they're going to continue it further than that, but nope. Right from the jump, back to where it was. It's
Right.
crazy. I love that.
Yeah,
Uh,
that movie was crazy. Did you get to see Books of Blood on Hulu?
no. Is
It's
it good?
about like a yeah, it's pretty good. It's like three, four. The way the movie pans out is like 2 hours long, but it's like three or four stories that connect into one. And basically, it's about a dude that he is the Book of Blood. So like writings of like people that died and things that they say go on his actual body
Oh
and
my
shit. So
gosh.
he gets carved and it's like, it's bloody and gory, but the movie's dope though. It's like
That's
I
crazy.
was blown away. These movies that I watched, even on Shutter, like I put them up on Instagram story, like I'll put up like fucking 15 seconds of it. But like the movies that I ended up watching, yo, this year it's been like
Yeah, they've been really good.
the least amount of like failures. Like I've seen
Yeah.
so many good horror movies that I've just been like, yo, yeah, I got it. I don't know if we need horror movies in theaters no more. I would love it. And even theaters, theaters are going away, right?
Yeah,
That's what they're
man.
saying.
I had a buddy who was actually working at a theater when all the pandemic first hit, and he was working there for a little bit, and then when they closed him down, he's like, "Oh yeah, I'm figuring out what I'm doing next." He's like, "Cause we don't know when we're gonna open." It's been crazy, dude, and it's insane to think that all the generations now, like if they do go away, you're gonna have to start explaining to kids that what movie theaters were and stuff like that, especially if they don't come back for a couple of years. It's going to be crazy, man. And then that's the other thing too is you got to think the only people that are going to be able to remake these companies once they're gone are the people that still got the money after this when we come out. So you're going to start seeing people that already have a ton of money, even making more money off something that everyone else gave their blood and tears for. And it's sad.
Yeah, that's the truth, man, because it's like all the people with the money, they're just gonna, this is my idea anyway, and I think it's already playing out, but they're just gonna buy up all the shit that other people, especially like
Yep.
right across the street from me, I got Cinemark. Well, it's not cross street, but I live like 2 blocks from the fucking mall, and there's a Cinemark in there. And then on the other side of town, there's this like mom and pop shop, right? The
Yeah.
mom and pop like movie theater. The mom and pop movie theater hasn't fucking opened up not once since the pandemic.
Ugh.
On the other side, Cinemark, they're just playing fucking old Jurassic Park. They'll put a new movie in, like one new movie. I saw a New Mutants in there. Outside of that, it's just been fucking Jurassic Park, Harry Potter, like
Yeah,
whatever
whatever they
fucking
could put on.
blockbuster hit that they could rerun for you, Titanic, fucking Rocky Horror Show, whatever the fuck. So it's like, I don't know what we're doing. And they're renting them out for $100. Like, you want this room? $100. That means
Yeah,
you guys are barely even seeing $100 worth of ticket sales.
I
That you would
know,
just
man.
rent out a fucking theater for $100 right now. That shit is ridiculous. And for
Yeah,
me, that shit hurts my feelings because I'm a movie dude. Like, really,
yeah,
I like to go to movies. And I'm the type of weirdo that goes to movies on a Tuesday by myself. Like, if I'm not
yeah.
in a
Nope.
relationship and I'm chilling, or say if my girl's working and I got the day off and I can go wherever,
Yeah,
I might just go to the movie on 2 p.m. on a Tuesday and just watch something where I can chill. If I want to look through my fucking notifications, if the movie ain't that good, I ain't fucking bothered because it's Tuesday. They got the discount price. There's nobody there. You know what I mean? Like, I could
yeah,
talk on the phone. I used to do this shit in New York City. In New
yeah,
York
yeah.
City, I used to be able to go on a Tuesday to a movie theater where there was nobody
Yep.
there and just be on the phone talking my shit if I wanted to, because I was actually extra crazy. I'll be like trying to talk business deals. Yo, we're gonna set up the show on blah blah blah. Like who the fuck did I think I was? But
Yeah.
nonetheless,
I used to
that
have a bunch of friends of mine. We used to sneak out of school and we would drive out to New York to go to theaters and just see theaters real quick or see a movie real quick and just go back real quick and try and make it in time. And like there was a lot of fun things that we used to do like that. I love the theater scene there too, especially like any drive-ins that are still around. I haven't been there in a minute. My family is originally from that area, but I'm out in Michigan now. Um, Literally, I think it's really cool that you can get a movie like on and be lucky, the luckiest one to be the only one in there, and you didn't have to pay anything extra for that. That is the best feeling in the world. We went back in February for Valentine's Day. Now you
right.
think in Valentine's Day it's gonna be swamped. It's gonna be people everywhere. Well, they were, but they weren't seeing the movie we were seeing. So we got the whole theater to ourselves. We had to sit wherever we wanted. Nobody came in. Nobody bought tickets to that show, dude. It was amazing. Now they're saying, "Oh yeah, $100 for that when you paid $6 before." No, thank you. I'm good. I'm sorry, but I can't give you that much. Like,
Right, but I
like,
mean, if
be
you,
practical. If you
I
be
get you, but
practical,
if
more people will buy. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, man.
no, you're fine. I'm just saying that $100. If we just come in and be like, there's 20 of us, and everybody puts
Yeah,
in $5, now we rock this whole theater by ourselves. We don't even have to worry about anybody coming in. But the problem with that is that there's not even any movies that you would really want to do
oh
that for
yeah,
right now.
that's true.
You
That's
know,
very
we were
true.
talking we were talking about Saw and stuff like that, and I don't want to breeze over Saw because that shit is like, you know what I mean? That's one of my faves right there.
I love
Saw,
that.
and on the goofy tip, Final Destination. I
I
like those
love
series
those
when
movies.
people just getting splatted, somebody's getting cut in half.
Bro,
Because
my mom still gets scared when we drive on the highway because of that movie. Everybody's like, it's in the back of your head because, like, if you've seen it, you're like, nope, I'm good. Don't even want the 1% chance to happen to me. I'm okay. Thank you.
right, I went to Universal this summer. I went to Universal Studios this summer for the first time with my girl, and she just couldn't stop thinking about the roller coaster is gonna blow. You
Oh,
know what I mean? It's gonna just
yeah.
break, and she's gonna. I'm like, that's not gonna happen. You're gonna be all right. Look how many people have been on the roller coaster. We're gonna be all right. You know what I mean? But what I was saying about that is, you heard about the Spiral, the one that Chris saw. it's the Saw series, or
I
it's
think I did.
reinvented by Chris Rock. Chris Rock's doing horror.
Yeah, the next installation of the movies.
Right.
It's a
That was
continuation, but it's him directing it. I'm so excited for that.
right. That was supposed to come out in May. That was supposed to be like around for my
Yeah.
birthday, and it never came to fruition.
No.
So now we gotta wait until whenever the fuck they decide. And I'm more than sure that that shit's gonna come out like straight to fucking to your TV for $20. Have you ever did that yet? Where you watching a movie that you could have saw in theaters, but now they put it out
Yep.
for the
Yeah.
$20?
I do that. I do that a lot. Like if I think a movie, if it's not a movie that I'm a massive fan of, I most of the time will do that. I'll wait till it comes out and then I'll pay whatever and I'll watch it and I'll see what it's about, you know? And but a lot of times, like unless it's like something I really care about, I don't go to the movies, although I do love going to movies. I actually had one story, was with an ex of mine, and we were going to see Spider-Man, right? But we didn't have a lot of money, so we went on one of the days where it was cheaper. And as I'm walking in, man, as I'm walking in, this dude just walks up to me and goes, "You want a 3D ticket for Spider-Man?" He's like, "I'll go in with you and make sure that it works." He's like, "I'm telling you, it works." And I'm like, "What do you want for it?" I was like, "Cause I don't have the money. That's why I'm going to see just the regular one right now." And he's like, "It's free. Like you can just have it." And I was like, "Are you serious?" He gave me the ticket, man. I had enough to buy one more ticket for the 3D, and I got to see Spider-Man in 3D for nothing. That was genuinely crazy. I love the theater experience. I love going there. I love being able to sit there with a bucket of popcorn and whatever snacks I pick out and just relax. It's just nice because a lot of times, man, when you go to theater, it's quiet. I'm my family and my friends. They always talk during the movies, or they'll talk during parts. It's like I like being able to just be fully immersed in the movie itself.
Right. That's how I am. Like like in the house, we we think about, okay, if this is a good movie, or if this is just we putting this on for background noise. If it's
Right,
for
right.
background noise, then we grab our phones, we talk, but we still drop the phones and watch the movie a little bit. Now, if it's a movie that we both anticipating, the phones are put away. Like
Yeah.
we'll put them
Mm-hmm.
on the charger, sit them shits down. We're watching this movie and we're gonna pay attention. So that's the only thing that I have like a problem with a lot of movies nowadays, is because this just be putting me to sleep. It's like
Yeah.
I know
It's
part of it is because it's kind of redundant and we already seen a lot of the shit that they put out. But a lot of it has to do with, how we're taking in information. We're constantly like mine is going like this, that, and the third. Like we go down the stream, like a fucking a feed of any sort, Facebook or Instagram, Twitter. There's like non sequiturs. There's like everybody's different thought. Like, and for me especially, like, not that I go on there a lot and fucking pay attention like heavily to what other people doing. I try not to too much, but I got like, people that are into horror shit, people are into mental illness recovery. I got people that are into, there's the juggalo scene, there's like a bunch of other people that I fucks with, and they're bombarding me with all their information. So by the time I sit down to actually watch a movie, the movie better have me like this, because if not, I'm gonna be like, all right, yo, skip this. I'm good on this. You know what I mean?
That's what I'm saying. Like that's how I felt for the boy in the beginning, and then I loved that it was right before I was about to be like, all right, I'm gonna turn this off. I'm done watching this. I feel like I've wasted my time. I'm gonna go do something that I'll enjoy immediately instead of waiting around and then boom, just hit you. It's like, oh, okay, I'll watch more. Thank you, thank you. Like that, like you were saying, the horror movies specifically, like it's been getting better. It's been getting back to what I grew up with and what I loved instead of what I was getting as I was growing up.
Right, 100%. Did you see Escape Room?
No, I saw it pop up. I was thinking about watching it the other night. Is it
Watch
good?
Escape
Yeah.
Room. Watch Escape Room.
Okay.
There's like escape rooms everywhere. Have you ever been to an escape room? I haven't.
I
But
got
have you?
invited to one. I've never actually done one, but they look like a lot of fun. Like you gotta find a way to get out of each, like either clues or just hidden stuff. Like I love stuff like that, so I'm very interested. But if I watch a horror movie like that and it's good, I don't know if I'm gonna go to an escape room anytime soon. We'll
Well,
see.
obviously, the escape room movie is going to be
Oh yeah, much
over the
different.
top. Like the room that they did for
I
that
just get
one.
like irrational fears like that sometimes, man. Where I'll just be like, nah, you know what? I'm not chancing it. It's cool. I'm gonna wait a minute. I'll
Right,
get there. I'll get there.
right. That's what my thing is. It's like I've never been to an escape room. I like the idea. I
Yeah.
think I'm good at puzzles, but
Yeah. Right.
am I gonna get stuck in the room? Like, am I gonna get a hint? Could you give me a little hint right now? Because I'm kind of stuck. Like I don't know
Yeah.
what's gonna happen. So I haven't went, but like I'm planning to go and shit. I'm planning to go.
You'll have to let me know how that is for sure, man.
Yeah, man. We like I gotta go. Like if I fail and I suck and I don't, if you don't hear from me after I go, then you
Because
know
if you
what
don't hear
happened.
from me,
I didn't escape. I didn't make it.
oh my goodness.
So, so here's a question for you: have you ever came encounter with a ghost, or what you thought was a ghost or a demon?
Oh my gosh. So this is
Talk to me.
actually I got stories for days on this. So I used to actually live in a couple haunted houses. Like one specifically, there's this house on what was the name of it? It's in Connecticut. So it's a old like Victorian era house, and it's like not big, but not like it's like a regular like nice like decent sized house. It's like got a couple levels, but it's not like big in size. It's very like compact, but it was meant for multiple people to live inside. And they
Right.
split the house down in half so that one person could live on the back end and one person could live on the front end. And this house was over like 100 years old. The lady who lived in the back behind us, dude, she never cut the grass. And like it wasn't our property, so like we couldn't go over there or anything to help her. And
Mm.
it was just tall grass for days back there, and then ours was cut. When we first moved in, the power would flicker on and off, and my mom and her boyfriend at the time, they went down to the basement to see, flick the lights back on. Now the basement, go outside, open the big steel doors, you go down to the basement. They've got like all the original structure down there with cobwebs everywhere and everything. And I'm inside the house with my little sister, and I hear my mom yelling from down below, "Are the lights on? Are the lights on?" And then all of a sudden, I heard my mom scream, and I was like, "What?" So I went outside to go see what's happening, and they're booking it inside the house. Apparently, they were down there, and they heard a woman's voice say the lights were off, but now they're on. And they looked around because they had flashlights, and they didn't see anybody, and they ran. There was another time where my mom, she was laying down on the couch, and she heard the crinkle of the
Mm-hmm.
bassinet over the baby monitor.
Mm-hmm.
So she went upstairs. She starts walking up the stairs, goes to her room, looks in the baby crib because at the time it was my sister's, and she was still old enough that she would have been in there, except for the fact that my sister got picked up by my grandmother with me that morning for school, and she was home alone. So she went over to
Mm.
the bassinet as it was still crinkling, and when she looked over, it stopped and there was nothing in there. And then when she
Mm.
went back down, she fell asleep, woke up to a woman's voice, the same woman's voice she heard before, saying, "You must be so tired." And my mom left. She went to get a coffee, left the house, drove to a friend's house, and was telling him about this haunted house. Now, this whole time, my mom's having these experiences. She didn't know I was having the same things, but different. So, what I didn't know is that a bunch of Victorian era kids also passed away there, and that apparently there was, I think it was also Indian like burial grounds in the back, like in that back
Mm-hmm.
area. I think there was one that had been buried there. I don't know
Mm-hmm.
what happened or anything like historical wise about it, but I remember my room was at the top of the stairs, past my mom's, past like the bathroom, and then once you get past those, it goes straight to the attic. I mean, straight to the attic. There's no door; it's just stairs all the way up. And then past that, that's my room. That's the room I was given. So I'm sitting in there and I have my dog. And every time my dog would go to the bathroom with me, he would stop at the bottom of the stairs and growl. Now, what I didn't know is that while I was gone at school, I was always getting yelled at when I came back because I would mess up the attic because that was my playroom. I had my PlayStation 2 up there. I had
Right.
movies. I had chairs. I had whatever.
Right.
And she would always yell at me, but when I would go up there, everything was fine. So I didn't understand. So anyway, she was telling me that she would go up there after I would go off to school, and like chairs would be moved. Because I always put the chairs back. Like if I have it, if table set up, I always put the chairs back. Chairs would get moved to in front of the TV or in front of the big circle window in the attic area that looks out to the driveway. And it was creepy as hell because the kids that had passed away, it was almost like they were just moving the stuff while I was gone and using it. There was one night where I looked up, dude, I saw all these little eyes and then one tall man, his eyes on the top of the attic, and my dog bolted up to the attic, and I literally went in the bathroom until daytime. I literally couldn't deal with it. My mom, when she had had enough, we contacted the realtor who gave us the house, and they said, "Oh, you didn't know this house was haunted? What do you mean we didn't know? You didn't tell us." She goes, "Oh, well, this house has been haunted. It's from the Victorian era." Like, oh, my mom moved us immediately. And I remember that the street was called Locust Avenue, I believe. And for years, that house hadn't sold. I don't know if it's sold right now, but you can look. And I guarantee you, if you look it up, that house didn't sell for a long time. It sat there. There was one other people that bought it after we did, and they moved out immediately. And we didn't, or my mom, I think, contacted them and told them because they had been having weird experiences too. I don't think they were told either. It's been crazy, man.
Yeah, I've had my encounters because when I was a kid, you see how like I get happy about horror shit, man. When I was a kid, I used to look for ghosts. I used to look for the motherfuckers. Where you at? Like, let me listen. Oh shit, that door moved a little bit. Let me pay attention. And I paid attention too fucking much. So my mind was like tuned into that shit, I think. This is what I think. My mind was tuned in. I was looking for that shit the whole time, right? And all right, I'll tell you this story. One thing that I used to do is like, cause one of my cousins, he was going through something. He was going through a divorce. He was, it was like a whole bunch of shit. So he was starting to say certain things like, and he's an older cousin, like, he's probably like 20 years older than me or whatever. He was like, when I look in the mirror, there's a different person in the back of me looking at me, and he was going through something. You know what I mean? He was having some problems, right? So I was like 10. So I'm like, oh shit, what would it be like if I look in the mirror and I see a ghost in the mirror that when I look around, I don't see it? So for fucking months, I was just thinking about that shit every now and then. Like I'll walk, because I would walk from my house to school and back. And I would pass by cars and I'll be like, what if there was a ghost right there looking? Right? So it happened that my brother is like, he don't do anything anymore, but he used to sell crack. He used to sell crack and coke like since he was 15, 16 years old. So it was like, it was known in the house. It wasn't like something we were hiding or nothing. We're hiding it from other people because we were ashamed of shit. But we knew he was doing his thing, but we couldn't really tell him to do anything because he was just savage like that, right? So he was just doing whatever the fuck he wanted to do. So his friend was taking like coke money, taking weed money from people, taking actual products, selling it, never paying people back, getting into little arguments. He was a good dude. He was funny, but he wasn't a good dude, but he was funny. So everybody liked him, but he was like fucking up money in the streets, right? So his mom, she was into fucking voodoo or I can't remember the name right now. It's slipping my tongue. But basically voodoo, brujeria is what they will say, like in Spanish and Haitian is brujeria, right? So his mom did some brujeria on him for protection. That's what they said. It was for protection. So he ended up sleeping in our house one day. Right. And I'm going crazy. This is how I like think about it. Cause I'm thinking about like me at 11 years old, 12 years old. My mind is going like, I'm looking for ghosts, and they bring this dude over to sleep over one night. Right. The very next day that he slept over, I'm seeing, I see what I was looking for basically. Right. I wake up in the middle of the night. There's like, I'm on a bunk bed. There's a TV that's like right there, one of them fat tube TVs. And this is what I used to do because my mind was weird. I was looking for shit. So I would be like, okay, when I look over here, Cuban magic. You're right. There's Cuban. There's Dominicans that do it too. Um, Santeria. Yeah, I don't know if it's brujeria, Santeria. To be honest with y'all, but so they put protection on them. I'm looking in the. I wake up and the first thing I do is turn to the side and look at the TV. Right.
Yeah.
So I wake up this night right after he was there. I wake up banging. There's a banging, 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 banging. Right. So I'm like, what the fuck is this banging? So I get up and I look, and it was my unraveled fucking PlayStation remote banging against my fucking drawers, like banging against the drawers that I
Oh
had
my
there, right?
gosh.
So I'm looking, I'm like, how the fuck is that happening? Because it would fall off, right? So I'm
Yeah.
stunned. I'm stunned. Like I got so scared that I couldn't move, right? I
Yeah.
couldn't fucking move. This is how scared you can get. Like I didn't like when people are like, oh, in the movie, how she got scared, she didn't scream. Yeah, no, I've been there. You can
Yeah.
get that fucking scared when you try to scream and you go like I was trying to scream for my mom, which was in the room like right here behind me. I could have been like I couldn't even scream. I was like, Mom, like I couldn't fucking
Yeah.
scream. It wasn't coming out. Yo, it was not coming out.
It was like
But
your
what
whole
I
throat
saw
locked
was
up.
right. But what I saw was I looked and I'm like, oh shit, so that's my reflection, right? So I'm looking at the reflection through a TV. I'm like, that's my reflection. But at this time, we had people sleeping in and out of our houses. Like we were just taking in people that were like out on the street that were like fucked up. They got into some stupid situation. Now they're sleeping on the street. So we had this bed that was on the side of my room, just like, a mattress laying
Yeah.
upward. So I'm peeking this way and I'm still sleepy. So I'm like, oh, that's me looking at me. And then when I really pay attention, I see in the reflection that there was like a gremlin coming in from the side of the fucking the mattress, and he started walking. His walk was mad heavy, like boom, boom, boom. So I'm getting scared. Yo, it took me like 30 minutes to go from here where I'm looking at the TV to here where I could tuck my head.
Yeah.
It took me like 30 minutes of
Shit.
screaming mommy and couldn't do shit. And that dude was just stomping in between my room. Like he was just in my room. He'll hit the wall. He'll turn around. He'll walk back. Yo, that shit was the craziest shit I ever saw. But in my family, in my family's history, there's been more than a few of us that have witnessed that same gremlin looking dude, whether it was in the dreams, whether it was in real life, like slight hauntings. Like my mom said that, I don't know if it's true, but my mom told me that the gremlin jumped on her one time. Like she tried to do the turnaround and she felt something jump on her ass. Like, like, so. And I'm Puerto Rican. When you go to Puerto Rico, like that's like the most haunted shit, bro. I'm gonna go right into another story for y'all. There was a time that I was taking a piss. People telling me that, yeah, every year we could hear a haunting of this lady that got murdered and raped, and she was running down the fucking mountain and nobody came to save her because there was like a bunch of gangsters that were raping her and murdering her through the mountain. So she was yelling, help, 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 and no one wanted to help her. So they say, this is the story, that that same spirit comes every year and it makes the noise of all the rattling and the so this is like right behind
Oof.
one of my family members' houses.
It gives me chills thinking about it, man.
So I was taking a piss, right? Little fucking like little butter bean me when I was 9, 10 years old, taking a piss, but I'm over here looking for ghosts and shit. And I heard a ooh, and you're thinking, ooh, like I'm like, yeah, whatever. Stop playing with me. And I look out the window because there's nobody. I know there's nobody on this floor. So I look out the window, see somebody's behind the house or something. I couldn't see nobody. So I'm like, yeah, whatever. And I keep hearing it, ooh, and I'm like, oh nope, I'm not playing these games. I start singing a song. The first song that come to my head was fucking I Want It That Way. I think it was Backstreet Boys or something. So I want it that way. Tell me why. And that shit went around my head. It went omni around my head. I'm over here singing, tell me why. Hey. It's like, it went, woo. And I went, oh shit. I peed all over the floor. I just put my dick back in my pants. I started running. Yo, It's just,
Oh my
I'm
god.
telling you.
Yeah, I know how you feel too because I lived in this other house here in Michigan. This was
Hmm.
around the end of my high school years. We had this one house that we were staying at, and when we first moved in, they had this piano. It was like a grand piano, and like obviously we're both musicians, so I was like, absolutely, I want the piano. Like I'll take the piano, I'll play on it because they were giving it to us anyway. So I was like, yeah, leave it over there, leave it in the room. We don't gotta move it. I'll just go play it. Whatever. It was outside
Right,
my mom's room by the terrace, and then connected to that was the living room. And the living room had these two doors, but you had like four glass panels on each door that you could see through into
right,
the family room. Now, I slowly found out that that piano, when played, a chain of events happens. The same chain of events, like your story, happens over and over and over and over again. However, if you play this piano too much or not well, other shit happens. So I was like, okay, I played it the first time. I was writing a song to it, so I was writing it down and shit. I was trying to remember which keys and everything.
right.
I played this thing for like 4 hours. 4 hours, the same thing, just working on the same little rhythmic pattern. And all of a sudden, I hear the basement door shut, and a chair in the kitchen slide out. And then the basement door downstairs, the storm door, in case of anything happening, that slammed shut. And that was a heavy door. Like you could barely move that as a person. Now, it freaked me out because I was like, oh shit, that's what they call a residual ghost. Something that like if there's something they're attached to, it triggers like their final moments over and over and over again. So I was like, all right, don't fuck with the piano. All right, I'm good. I will get a keyboard. I'm good. I'm gonna go to Guitar Center. I'm gonna put some D batteries in there, and I'm gonna call it a day. My siblings went and played on the piano, and at that time they were very small. I had two more siblings after my sister at the last house, and this is years and years later. So like they're younger kids. My older sister, she's about a couple years younger than me, about 8 years or so, and literally the younger kids were just slamming on the keys, playing around. They're having fun, they're kids. Bro, I was playing Xbox downstairs. I felt the coldest breeze slap me in this hot basement. And then the storm door just slammed shut. So I go to school the next day and I'm like, bro, you gotta come over. Like, my house is haunted as fuck. Like, I'm not even kidding. Like, bring a camera, bring whatever. And he's like, yeah, whatever, man. And I was like, no, like, bro, I'm dead serious. Like, you're into this stuff. Like, come over. So he comes over and everything. Bro. Now, my little sister, now she was like not old, like 3, 4 maybe, like young.
Right,
She was just
right.
starting to draw pictures with crayons and everything, like actually have pictures in them. It was scary as shit because the second that we opened the front door, she hands him a piece of paper and says, "This is for you." It was a
Right.
picture of a stick figure with red hair, bright red hair, falling off a cliff with upside down crosses all over the sky. He had red hair, and he had never been to my house before. And it was the scariest thing. He was like, "No, you planned that." I was like, "Bro, I'm freaked out right now because that's red hair and you've never been to my house and I've been at school all day with you. My sister don't have a cell phone. She's 3. Like, I don't
Right.
know what to tell you, bro." And he was like, "Okay, crap. We need to call like paranormal investigators." Now, fun fact, my sister's dad, the one that lived at that house, he's actually part of a paranormal investigation group based in Connecticut, and he's been on Ghost Hunters, the TV show, for a
Oh
couple of
yeah.
their sites, but they won't go to that damn house that I'm talking about. So you know it's real. That Locust Avenue house, it really did scare the crap out of him, man. I swear, because it's just, oh my gosh. Anyway, I'm getting off track. Back to
No,
this
you're
story
fine, man.
though. So I told him, come over, play on the piano. Something's gonna happen. It's either gonna be the same stuff that I'm talking about in the same order, or you're gonna make it mad. And there's no in between. And I'm warning you now because I'm your friend and I'm looking out for you, and I'm gonna be in the basement the whole time. I said you can video record whatever you want. I'm gonna be in the basement. So he
Yo,
plays.
there's been definitely, sorry to cut you off, man. There's been definitely like some ritual ghost that I've seen, I want to say one of my uncles is a ritual ghost, and that's the crazy shit because it's like, is that my uncle? Is that like his spirit? Is he just
Yeah.
stuck there doing that little 1-2
Yeah.
thing,
It's
or
really sad
is
to
he
think about.
actually, just that's just some energy that's stuck there, but
Yeah.
he moved on because you don't know. The
Yeah.
one thing is, my uncle was gay and he did heroin and shit like that. So he used to go in the streets and get his heroin, and he was also gay. So, and this is like back in the 70s or something, 70s, 80s, I want to say. So something happened with him. I don't know if it was that they found him gay. I can't recall. I'm sure I'll talk to my family member. They'll correct me. But um, whether it was that he owed money or that they found out he was gay or whatever it was, they ended up um cutting his dick off in the middle of the street and leaving him on the street. That was one of those things that they
Oh,
used
it's
to do to a lot of
horrible.
people that were gay. Anybody that was gay and was caught gay and was out there about it, they'll cut their dick off and do some crazy shit to them. And like, so that's how he died. You know what I mean? Not to bring everybody down here, but that's how he died. And his spirit still stands in the kitchen in the middle of the night making some eggs, because that's what he used to do. People used
Yeah.
to see him come up and down they used to come up and down the block and see him because the stove was like right by the window. So they would see him like working his eggs and doing whatever he's doing. And they would be like, "Hey, what you doing? Oh, you doing this?" Because Puerto Rico, like, they'll just talk to anybody out in the street, especially like a small village. So that's what he did in the middle of the night every time. So until this day, as far as I remember, if you just like pay attention in the middle of the night, and or you could be watching TV, you could be having the time of your life, you could be having some sex. He's in the kitchen working his fucking breakfast out. You know what I mean? And it's
Yeah.
like you could hear that shit. Like
Yeah.
one time I tried to tell my brother, and my brother was like, "No, I don't hear nothing." I'm like, "You don't hear the kitchen? The fucking fridge is going. The sink sounds like someone's putting fucking like." And there was another time, because I know we're getting close, we're gonna end on time, but I want to make sure everybody gets in, at least a little bit of these horror stories and shit. There was this other time that I was with an ex when I was like 19 years old, and we moved in together, and she had a son. So the son was like, wasn't my kid, but I was playing stepfather. The son was like running cars over the fucking top of my body, just having fun. Like, meanwhile, there was a ritual ghost in that apartment that if you left the door in the bedroom just slightly cracked, you hear it go, like somebody knocking on the door, boom, 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 boom,
Yeah.
and it will just move the door slightly. And I
Ugh.
was like, what the fuck is that? Like, if you close the door, no problem. Had the door wide open, no fucking problem. You had the door slightly cracked, you fucked yourself. So my ex came in one time and I told her about this shit because I was tripping out. Like one time I heard it and I went into the other room because my friends were in the room. They were playing Need for Speed and smoking weed. At the time, I didn't even smoke. So I'm like, yo, y'all playing with me? Y'all ain't here playing? Like, no, we were just sitting here playing Need for Speed. So she came, one morning. She did the shit. She left the door cracked. And I'm like, you shouldn't have did that because I already seen it like 4 or 5 times. It didn't even matter if it was daylight.
Yep.
Like we just moved in. We didn't even have like curtains, anything over the fucking windows. The sun was coming in. So it's like this motherfucker don't care who's looking. Like he don't care if it's
No.
nighttime, if
Nope.
it's like I gotta do my thing. I jiggle the door and I knock 4 or 5 times. This is what I do when the door is open. So I pointed at her. I pointed at the door. I'm like, you shouldn't have did that. Look, there's a ghost here. That door, and she just started bawling. Like she looked at me. And she was like,
Yeah.
oh, no. I'm
Yeah.
like, yo, relax. He ain't doing nothing to nobody. He just got to do his little thingy. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like,
No, I know what you mean. I actually had something happen. I mean, it's very short, but like, my girl, she's been having weird stuff happen in this house, right? And one of the things is my bedroom
yeah,
door will open and close sometimes. So I'm on the phone with Weapon, just talking back and forth, and I'm walking through the hallway, and all of a sudden the door, completely closed, mind you, just opens completely without the door handle being pulled down, nothing. And I'm telling you, it was completely closed. Like you could see it was latched, closed in the door. It opened, and I just kept going in my room like nothing was wrong. My girl's like, "You cannot just act like that didn't happen." And my buddy Weapon on the phone, he goes, "Oh, that's just dead kids telepathy. It's fine." I was like, bro, I've grown up around this stuff so much it doesn't faze me, but I forget that like other people, they don't see stuff like this normally. So they're like, excuse me?
Right. I mean, I still get shook, at least a little
Oh
bit.
yeah.
I
Oh yeah.
haven't seen it in a while. I haven't been looking for it, to be honest with you. But if something was to happen, yeah, I'll probably be a little shook. I'll probably be a little shook. Yo, that kid, man, thank you for coming through to the pod, man.
Yo,
Yo, I want everybody in the chat and everybody that's gonna listen to this after that to go check out Dead Kid, infamous Dead Kid on Instagram, right?
yeah, infamous dead kid on Instagram.
Go ahead, plug your shit. You got the outside video that just came out 3 weeks ago. What else you got going on? You got
Yeah.
something new coming?
I actually just hit affiliate on Twitch 2 nights ago. I just hit that, and it was really cool to hit that. Now I can get my first batch of subscribers. It's twitch.com or twitch.tv/sadist Batman, all one word, SADIST.
So you be playing games? What kind of
Yeah,
games you
man, I
playing?
play games. It's kind of like basically I'll play and I'll talk to the community. We could talk about whatever, whether it's the game or it's based on my music, or I talk about with my friends and I'll have them in there and we'll just mess around on games and stuff. It's a lot of fun. They said dead kid telepathy. Hey, thank you all for having me. I really appreciate being a guest. I know my buddy Prof, if you and him link up, I know he's down to be on this too. It's been a fun experience for sure. Thank you.
Yeah, no doubt, man. We're gonna get Prof in here. I'm gonna try to get Zandy in here too.
Absolutely.
And you know what I mean? We're gonna work this. Yo, thank you for coming through. And you're gonna come back too. We got some more shit to talk. So
Oh, for sure, man. Thank you.
appreciate you, man. Appreciate you. Appreciate everybody in the chat. Appreciate everybody that's gonna pay attention to